Okay, so $100,000. Now I've taught this several times, and but I'm going to go through it again because it's really just a different way of looking at it. Is all the different ways that you can invest in self-storage, all the different ways that you can invest in self-storage, and then I'm going to give you also my ways that you can invest in self-storage as well too. All right, because I got a lot of stuff going on now. I'm going to just create a whiteboard. I'm not sure how long my my pencil is going to last, or my iPad is going to last for my whiteboard. But I hope it works. Actually, let me see if it works. Well, of course it doesn't work. Yeah, so so I guess we don't have a whiteboard because I ain't working today. So we'll just talk about it. That is what we'll do. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to talk about all the different ways that you can spend $100,000 in storage. There's 6 different ways for you to invest in self-storage. All right, and 5 of them, but let's see, the 4 of them, you need money in order to do something. All right, you need money. So this $100,000 that you're going to have is going to be perfect for these. And then the other 4 we'll get into, which will be like super passive. Okay, so the first thing is it was exactly what I do, which is mismanaged facilities. Mismanaged facilities. All right. And if you only have $100,000, okay, mismanaged facilities are very, very difficult to buy through a bank. Right? Because a mismanaged facility essentially means that it's not producing the income that it should be producing. And so a bank is not going to lend on it, right? Because banks only lend on income producing properties. Now, there are banks that do what's called projection-based loans. Okay. But they're few and far between. So SBA will do a projection-based loan. And we're in the process right now of talking to SBA about doing a projection-based loan, but they're going to definitely want to have a lot of spread, right? So like, they're not going to just give you money if you're only going to make 50 grand on the back end or 100. Like, they want you to like double, if not triple, the value of that property. All right. So projection-based loans, you should really be at a 50% LTV or lower. 50% LTV or lower. LTV means loan to value. Loan to value, right? So we're in the process of buying a $2.5 million facility that's worth $5.4 million. Okay, that is like, obviously that's 50% or less than 50% loan to value. Okay, and so you're going to just, when you think about mismanaged facilities, you want to have like a huge spread. So a bank is not going to really fund this deal unless there's like this massive, huge spread, and you can prove to them that you can take this mismanaged facility and make it to this beautiful facility. And actually, and I'll do like a whole session on this once we're done with this loan. But there is like so much stuff that they want for this. Like, it is not easy to get a projection-based loan. Just so everybody knows, it's not easy. It's a lot of work. They're requiring like a ridiculous amount of stuff. And it may be because it's the times. It may be because like all the banks are super conservative right now, and they're like, what about this? They want like management, some reason, management business plan, and they want a business plan, and they want like resumes, and they want to know like everything about you and your whole life, and they just want a whole bunch of stuff. And they want you to be able to prove that you have the experience, and then also at the same time you have like a plan for this thing. Okay. So that's mismanaged facilities. Essentially, you could go and get a projection-based loan. Now you have to it's an SBA loan, because typically only SBA loans are really only SBA is going to do a loan for a mismanaged facility like this. Some local banks will do this, but like especially right now, very, very few. Like, local banks are being very conservative. Okay. And so they're gonna want you to do 10 to 15% down. So SBA requires like 10 or 15% down, depending on like a lot of different things, like your experience, and then also your like the your experience plus like the loan. It's, I mean, the deal itself. Is it a good deal or not? Like, and a lot of times what SBA does, I've seen my students, like this happened to my students quite often. A lot of times they will, like, they'll tell you, oh yeah, 10% down. And then like the day before closing, they'll be like, oh, sorry, like we have to do 15% down. I've seen this quite often. So I would on it, and I tell my students all the time with SBA, just like run your numbers at 15% down. All right, they may say 10% down, but the truth is that it's really like 15% down. And also SBA has like a ridiculous amount of fees. They do. They have like a lot of fees. They just get you with a lot of fees. So just run your numbers at 15%. Okay.